Good morning, ladies. Rise and shine. What a beautiful day out in the neighborhood.
Yay.
Let's get to the main course here. Bring out the pancakes, the scrambled egg, the bacon, all of that right now, the orange juice. Let's get diggity here.
Let's get diggity.
What constitutes as a good person? It could be a good man. It could be a good woman. What constitutes? What makes you say that that's a good person? And does that mean that they have to be perfect in all? You have to check all the boxes to be perfect, to be a good person? Because we are all flawed. It's so they come. What's happening, family? You're listening to the Unfiltered Lyman with BLT. Every week, we will reflect on our journey on trying to navigate between our parents' traditional culture versus American culture. Oh, gosh, boy. We are your hosts.
Bertie, the Haitian sensation.
Lisa, the Dominican diva.
And of course, Terry, the tantalizing Trini. Olya, no one is talking. So let's get unfiltered. So, ladies, I want to hear your opinion on what constitutes to be a good person.
Who wants to start?
I'm waiting to go last. That's why the reason I'm putting that out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, because Terry wants to bring it up.
Set it up.
No, let me not say bring it up.
Set it up. Set it up, though, Lisa. Set it up. Set up how this came about. I think, yeah.
Okay, this whole conversation came about. B sent me a post, and these two wonderful young ladies were discussing about Martin Luther King. Was he truly a good man? And the reason why I feel I don't want to say just gear it towards men, because this goes men and women, right? So what makes a good person? According what you do in your personal life and then what you do in your professional life, is that combined together? Or is your personal life and your career, work life, two separate things, two separate pots, right? So when we say what constitutes a good person, is it everything together, or do we keep those things separate and just say what makes a good person in their professional life and what makes a good person in their personal life? I think when you ask that question, I think it should be everything, a combination of both, right? Because I feel like down in your core, if I'm a good person, I'm going to try to do my best. I'm not perfect, okay? But I'm going to try to do my best to make good decisions in my personal and also in my professional life. Because I feel like if you're living a double life, and when I go to work, I make good decisions, I'm carrying myself in a professional manner, but then at night, I'm just like, yo, turn up. Yeah, I'm about to cut up. Let me go rob this bank real quick, and then I'm going to go and...
Well, unless you're Robin Hood and you're robbing the bank, from the rich to give to the poor, you still constitute as a good person. So, I mean...
Oh, okay. Okay, all right. So let me flip it this way. At work during the day, I'm professional. I'm making good decisions. I'm thinking of other people, being empathetic. But at night, I'm breaking hearts and slashing tires.
Who mash your corn? Somebody mash your corn in order for you to flare up like that. I mean, just dry, so you just breaking hearts and slashing tires? You ain't crazy. So somebody mash your corn.
Okay, so now that you made that statement, we're going down another road. So that means you have trauma, right? Something's happened to you in your past. There's trauma. So then that's why at night you're making bad decisions, but during the day you're making good ones. Yo, we about to be all over the place. We about to be all over the place on this one.
People, do not get it misconstrued. The key word is personal, okay? That is something that you do, you don't put out there. Personal. In your business life, in your career life, you are... If you're the pillar of the community and you're doing the right thing and you try to do right, we all try to live by a code of doing right through and through. However, as a human being, we all of us, every last one of us have been through some things, have suffered through some things that we're still working through. There is nobody that is perfect. There is nobody that you can honestly say that they're just good through it. They're a good person through and through. If they are, that means they have been through some stuff to get to that point. And that is a journey, okay? So with that being said, if in your personal life you're still struggling, you have to be able to understand what is the core of the struggle. That's what people do not want to talk about or want to see, because people don't just dry soul flare up. It's okay. Let's put it in a good term here. It's like when you have a rash. The rash don't just come just like that, bam. No. What happens is there's a reason why the rash comes. The core of it. Did you not eat properly? Did you eat something that didn't agree with you? Did you rub up against something? I mean, so it's all these things that you have to.
Did you lay on some dirty sheets?
See? Exactly. So, with that being said, you have to go to the core of what it is and understand, and that you get a better understanding of the person and why personally they're still having these struggles. But that does not mean that they are a bad person. They're still going out there doing good for the community. They're still helping and doing what they need to do. So why are we taking that part and making it, why are we taking the personal part that we're struggling with and magnifying that as opposed to looking at all the good? That's where I am with that.
Yeah, no, I'm agree with you. That's well put. Well put, Terry, because it's showing that at the end of the day, we're all human, but at least they're making a conscious decision to try to do something right, right? So I feel like to answer the question, well, let me not answer the question yet, but yes, if I have some demons in me, I'm having some struggles, but by day, I'm doing my darndest to fight the good fight. Because at the end of the day, we all know what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. So if I am doing my damnedest to try to do something right and I fall off the wagon every night, does that make me a good person?
Yeah, I feel like, again, there's already so much division within our community, especially between black men and, black women and things like that and all that. So we have different layers, like you ladies are saying. We have different layers, just like onions. You peel us, there's different layers. So my thing is judging people. Why are we judging people's character? I don't like when people are like, you understand what I'm saying? I just don't like that judging of people's character, because at the end of the day, most of the time I found that the people that judge people's character, they also have things within themselves. So one of the people that I like to follow is Queen Poe, and she has like that thing where she said, before you say something, stop and think about your own self. Right? Your own situation. Before you could come out your mouth and say this person wasn't great because they were XYZ, what about you? Like, shine the light on you. You understand what I'm saying? You could still, he could have still been great at what he did, but then at the same time, he struggled with this area. That doesn't take away from, and I feel like for me, when I hear people say, oh my gosh, he wasn't great because he did this, taking away from the accomplishment that, you understand what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to take away from the influence and the impact that he's had on this society. So my thing is, yes, we all have layers, but how we address the layers of our people or history or whatever, I think there just needs to be a better way, because I just don't like the constant negativity around, like, oh my gosh, he wasn't great because he cheated. He wasn't great. Okay, I understand that, but if his wife stuck with him, who the fuck are you to have anything to say?
Shit.
I'm just being honest. Let's be honest, because the thing about it is, our mindset, you don't know what their goals were. You don't know what their plans were. You don't know what they talked about. So to you, okay, your household don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? But keep that to yourself, because guess what? Your behind wouldn't be where you were without his influence. So what are you doing to contribute to the positivity of bringing up families to be together, or changing the society for black, for colored people? Like, what are you doing? Because you're focusing on him cheating. Okay. What else is next? I'm all about, like, what's next? Okay, he did this. Okay, so you highlighting my wrong. I get that. Okay.
It makes them feel better about themselves. when they
They're
pull
bullshit.
you down. Okay? So basically, they can't take on that how it's like saying, oh, she thinks she all that, right? Yeah, but I know I got files on her. So let me put that out there that, this is what she's doing in her personal life to bring you down instead of, like you said, B, what's, uplifting, or if you're doing something good, okay, then it's a good thing. Then give them, let them have their moment to continue to do good. If they're doing something bad in their personal life, how does that personally affect you? That's the question. It doesn't. So why do you feel that you need to pull them down with you because you can't get it together to do good, or you can't get it together to be positive, but you want to bring them into your negativity? That's that bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's that bullshit. But then also, too, I guess people are feeling like, okay,
idolizing.
Can I really buy it? Can I really buy into what you're talking about? Because, yeah, you did good over here, but you're not completely good. So I think it's like, can I get the complete buy-in?
No.
That you didn't have some other alternative motives.
No, because you going to church every day, you're paying a pastor, and you don't know what the fuck the pastor's doing. Let's be honest. The pastor's over here richer than you half the time. He's a man of God. He's living better than you. You don't question the pastor. Why? Because he coming in the name of the Lord. So the fuck wrong with... No. Let's not do that, because everybody could be crucified on the cross. If you're talking, but the thing about it is, that's where you have to be able to disassociate, just like we talk about. I'm a mother, right? I used to be a wife, right? I'm a friend, I'm a sister. But in all those areas, can I say that I was good? I wasn't a good wife. Well, I won't say that, but it didn't work out. Does that make me a bad person? You understand what I'm saying? I'm divorced now. Does that make me a bad person? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, taking into different layers, there may be some areas that you're just like, okay, I might not be good in this area, but I feel like I'm a great mother. You understand what I'm saying? Because I've learned and I put into, but there's different areas that I might not be so great at, and I recognize that about myself. But at the same time, if you accept me for all of me, and I accept you for all of you, I gotta take the good, the bad, and all the in between. Because when you start separating and when you start trying to be like, oh, you ain't great at this or whatever, guess what? That's where we are divided, because you're never going to find somebody. And I think that's where we mess it up. You're never going to find somebody that's going to check perfection. And when you do, especially I feel in the Black community, stop highlighting what are we going to do to make it better. I'm not saying that it's right that he cheated on his wife. I'm not condoning that. But at the same time, to put that, like, think about it, to put that in the same category that this man lost his life to bring you into the space that you are in, just based on the color of your skin, the sacrifice that he made, being put in jail. Would you have done what he did for your people?
Fire.
I'm just you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. To me, this just like, it goes back to, I know we don't like talking about it, but it's like, if you're going to highlight something, okay, what's the solution? How do we say, okay, as Black men or as a people, like, okay, this area he may not have been strong in, but we need to do better, because we recognize, like, okay, this is not, in this particular area, this is what we could do to do better, to show our Black families that, hey, you don't have to take this path. Like, but to be like, oh, he's not a great man because of this? Like,
But I think the question was he a good man, based not that he was not.
He was a human. That's the answer. Right. He was a human.
There you go.
Because I feel like you could always pin something. You could always pick something that tells you somebody's not great. You understand what I'm saying? You could always pick something nitpicking. You could always pick something to say somebody's not great, but that doesn't not make them who they are. That doesn't make them like, okay, they were an example. But they had flaws. You understand what I'm saying? And you define what greatness is to you. Everybody's greatness is different. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody defines greatness different. To his family, he could have been a great man. To other people that look at what his influence was, he could have been a great man. To you, because you feel like he cheated, he might not have been a great man. That's your opinion. But to trying to convince society, like, oh, do you think you know what I'm saying? I think that's where it's just like, it's all preference. Don't do that. Don't.
It's interesting that you bring that up because it made me think of something. I have a girlfriend and that actually lost her father. And in the trenches of, the father passing, they found out that the father had, the side chick, basically when the father was on his deathbed. And she was struggling with, she looked up to her father and she was struggling with, how can I trust any man out there now? How can I look at men and whatever?
Funny.
And I had to hold on. I know, but hold on a second, because I had to break it down to her. And I don't know what came over me to say this to her. I said, right now you're hurting. Yes, you lost your father. You're also hurting for your mother. Okay. But the reality of the situation is, let me ask you a few questions. Was he at all your soccer games? Was he at all your basketball games? Was he at your teacher-parent meeting? Was he at your graduation? All your birthdays? Was he there? And she said he was always there. He never missed a beat. Her father was always there. I said, well, in that retrospect, you got to hold on to that. Okay. Because it sounds probably cold. He cheated on your mother, but he didn't cheat on you guys. Or maybe that statement can be controversial in itself as well, too. But the point is that, was your father there every time you needed him? Was he there every time you called? Did he answer the phone every time? And she said yes. So I said, you're going to have to learn to, what's the word?
Disassociate the two. Like, yeah.
Compartmentalize.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you, Terry. I was like, you're going to have to learn. I said, listen, I know it's easier said than done, but you're going to have to find that space somewhere. And I said, I get it. I understand. I get it. It was, and you have to think also to that pain you're feeling for your mother. And yes, as a woman, but at the same time, and it goes back to the question, was he a good person?
Was he good to you? Was he a good dad?
Yeah.
That's
and the answer was yes. He was. He had I'm not gonna say it. I'm done. Okay, yeah, that's it. Because you know me, I'm always taking shit in the make a joke out of everything. But let me stop.
I agree with you. Though. I agree with you. She has to disassociate it, not. And like you said, we sometimes take people's bricks without
the bricks
needing to. So the thing about it is, I completely agree. If he was not around, you understand what I'm saying, or abusive to them, to the family, and I'm not, again, we're not trying to condone, disclaimer.
No.
That, this is what he was really good at, keeping a side chick. Good for him. But we're not condoning that. We're just saying at the end of the day, you have to be able to disassociate the different type of layers that you are. And the people that are in your life, you also have to be able to disassociate. If they were a great father, he's not your husband. If your mom think he wasn't a good husband to her, that's your mom's relationship with him. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes...
And that's her bricks to carry. That's her bricks to carry.
You don't know the details of that relationship or why it happened the way it played out. So for that... like you said, Lisa,
too.
Exactly. But like Lisa brought up a good point, that you're hurting for your mom as a woman. However, he came through time and time as a dad, and that right there should hold a lot of weight. So,
yeah, it's. Yeah.
Layers to this.
There's layers, yeah, definitely.
Layers.
Jesus, yo. I mean, and so the next question is that how do you think in the West Indian community this same question is answered?
Right. Do you even think You even think, let me ask you this, because I think in my opinion, disclaimer, I think in my opinion, in the American culture, spend a lot of time trying to be great, exceptional. I'm saying you're an exceptional person, you're a great person, you're good, like those kind of things. I don't, again, disclaimer, I don't think Caribbeans spend that much time. Well, let me not say that. I'm going to take that back. Like, focus on defining. You understand what I don't know if I'm making sense, like defining in retrospect. Either you're good or you're not. And if you're not good, I don't think that I think their leaders, maybe they do hold their leaders more. I mean, the Haitian community, their president day in and day out, they ain't got to figure it out yet. So I don't know what to say. They ain't figured that shit out in Haiti because none of their leaders apparently are great people, and they all confused as a people. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't, to be honest, I don't think I have an answer for that question either.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. For the first time, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have an answer.
Terry.
Oh, shit. Never mind.
I would have to say that in the West Indian community, there's a lot of glazing over and sweeping under the rug. I think that's the code that they live by. If I don't see it or if I don't address it, it never happened. I don't have to deal with it. That to me, because once you start to pick that wound or you start to pick that cut, it's so much deeper than what we're actually seeing that they don't know how to be able to really address it. So I think there's a lot of glazing over and a lot of sweeping under the rug, my opinion.
That's a good point. I think I would recognize that. You're right.
I think I'm agree with you 110% on that one. Now that you said that.
Because they don't communicate about certain stuff, right? They don't communicate.
No, they don't talk about nothing.
I think I don't think that they would per se. But I think if you're truly like evil, like you're doing wrong, I think they're more outspoken about those kind of things. But again, this is talking about layers of this man is good in this area and he has a challenge in this area, right? So do they, I don't know. I don't know if they know how to.
Because this applies to women too. That's why we say person. So it's,
I don't know if.
Since we don't know, ladies, what is your tip?
Yep.
B, what is your tip? Let me hear.
Tip? Mm-hmm. That we are onions with lots of layers. The time you may cry, some people onions, and it affects them differently. So just gotta learn to accept all the layers of the onion. Adds a certain flavor. I don't know what I'm saying.
Let's just leave it at the onion. Let's just leave it at the onion and the layers.
Oh, shit. What just happened?
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I think my tip is going to be that always try to remember what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And do your best to try to do the right thing. And if you do have those demons or those traumas, just at least try to do your best to talk to someone. So that's my tip. Do your best.
Okay, so we have onion and we have do your best. Okay. Treat people the way that they treat you. If they're good to you, you treat them good. Do not misjudge. And when I say that, don't get into this being happy for somebody who is broken, because we are all broken on some level. That's my tip. So it really was.
And we want to hear from our Caribbean folks. So since we didn't have an answer, my Caribbean folks, West Indies folks.
I would love to hear.
Well, I think technically Terry did kind of have an answer, right? That they just we sweep things under the rug.
All the time.
Is that the answer?
All day, every day. Yes.
Okay. All right. Great conversation.
Okay, so we're going to take the onion and we're going to take the broom and we're going to take also what Lisa said, and we're going to keep it moving.
Well, you know what? let me just add something to my tip. Because, now that you said that, in the West Indian community, they're always going to make a song out of whatever the problem is.
It's always a calypso for some song. Yes, you're right. Yeah, absolutely right. So yes, we're going to take the onion, we're going to take the broom, and we're going to take our telele song and our soca business, and we're going to keep it moving. We're going to chip down the road. That's exactly what we're going to do with it. So, and on that note, then we're gone. Have a good day. All right, people, the Bacchanal Queens, we are ready to leave. But before we leave, we would like to thank you for joining us this week on Unfiltered Lyman with BLT. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and join our Facebook page. As always, subscribe to the show to catch every new episode and leave us a review so we can continue to bring you fresh, exciting content. See you next Thursday, same time, same station. Unfiltered Lyman with BLT is edited and produced by Unfiltered Lyman with BLT.